So when compiling my list for the best 10 shooting guards for the 2023-24 season, there was only two players that were being considered at the top of the list, Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. Both great talents who were among the best players in the NBA last year, and in the end I predicted that Mitchell would be better next year. Ranking players for their upcoming season takes into account what I feel their role will be for next year, and I feel as though Mitchell will be more important to the Cavs than Booker will be to the Suns. I did find though that this is one of the most polarizing debates among fans, and so for that reason, I wanted to do a more in-depth comparison. This comparison is more looking at a player as an individual, not necessarily factoring in what their role will look like, taking into account what they do well, what they do poorly, and what their overall talent level and career accolades look like so far. So my conclusion of who is better here could very well be different than my conclusion on who will have a better 2023-24 season. But taking that all into account, let's get right into it. So shooting is an interesting one because I feel like maybe the public image is Booker being clearly the more of the shooter between the two, and Mitchell being more of a rim attacker. I don't know if that actually is that clear though. Let's start on Booker. He is one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA. He thrives in that area. A lot of what Booker does in this range is self-created, which we will discuss in a different category, but it doesn't matter how he gets it, he just gets buckets. Not just in the mid-range either, he can score at all levels. For threes, he isn't quite elite, but he makes them at a really solid clip as well. What makes Booker so great as a shooter is not that he is the best in the league at any one offensive thing. He isn't the best three-point shooter, probably not the best pure mid-range shooter, not the best finisher, etc. But he is borderline elite at all of the offensive scoring categories, and that crazy versatility is what makes him so deadly. Mitchell is a bit different than that. He can score in a variety of ways, but in all honesty, he is best considered a 2-level scorer, not a 3-level scorer. The reason I say this is he's most at home taking threes and getting to the rim. His mid-range game is not on the level of Booker. Booker took 740 mid-range shots at a percentage of 52%, and Mitchell, on the other hand, shot 510 mid-range shots, hitting only 47%. So more volume, more efficiency in the mid-range by a good margin for Devin Booker. On threes though, Mitchell does get the edge. In the past 3 seasons, Mitchell has been shooting near 9 threes a game, making 37.5%. Booker takes much less, taking about 6 a game, shooting 35.8%. So moral of the story, Booker gets the edge in the mid-range, Mitchell gets the edge from 3. To me, the 3 is more valuable, so for that reason, Mitchell gets the slightest edge in this category, 10-9. Now on shot creation, both guys are good here and both do it in their own way. Booker is just methodical. He takes his time, he analyzes the defense, and then he makes something happen. He is precise and deliberate with how he moves and where he decides to go. He finds his spots at an elite level and consistently makes the shot. Booker, like I mentioned in the shooting portion, can score in just so many ways at so many levels, and the main driving force behind that is his shot creation ability. Booker makes fadeaways, floaters, shots through contact very efficiently, and this in itself makes him an absolute matchup nightmare for any defender. While Booker is very methodical, Mitchell is just a pure downhill force. Everything he does is so fast and explosive, his handle is lightning quick, he gets to the rim at incredible speed, and the elevation he gets on his jumper is top tier. With Mitchell, it's hard for a defender to choose what exactly they need to guard. He's an elite three-point shooter, so you can't back off of him, but if you don't give him a little bit of space, he's going right around you as a defender. Overall here, it's very close, but I do actually lean Devin Booker here. I think he's got a more diverse moveset, and because of that, more difficult to figure out how to stop him. It is a close one though. 10-9 is how I'll score this one. Now, finishing. Again, there's a reason these guys are close. They're both offensive machines, and to differentiate between the two on that end is difficult to say the least. With Booker, while I would by no means say he's an extreme athlete, he is passable, especially getting to the rim. Instead of jumping over defenders, he does a good job absorbing contact and finishing through it. Booker actually has the highest percentage at the rim between the two, with Booker at 72% in the 2022-23 season and Mitchell at 69%. A lot of this comes down to the fact that I think Booker has a better shot selection in general. He's very smart because of his efficiency in the mid-range and his athleticism that's fine but not spectacular. He doesn't choose to push his way into the paint as often as Mitchell does. In Mitchell's case, his mid-range isn't as good as Booker's, so if he gets inside the arc, he is getting to the rim, which is one of the reasons why I think Booker has a better percentage. He isn't as adept at finishing in my opinion, but he is more selective with how he drives it at the rim. Mitchell just takes a ton more shots at the rim. Over last season, Booker took 191 shots at the rim and Mitchell took 318. It's a much bigger part of Mitchell's game. And that's for good reason in my opinion. He's near the top of the league in at the rim finishing ability. He's effective at finishing through contact as well, but he separates himself with his athleticism. His speed and vertical jumping ability combines to make him a serious threat to dunk on basically anyone, and the gravity he draws on drives forces defenders to try to cut him off, opening up shooters around the perimeter. I do prefer Mitchell as a finisher 10-9. Now we have playmaking. I do find that the assist numbers don't tell the full story here because they're basically even. For Booker's career, he's averaged 4.8 assists a game, and Mitchell's averaged around 4.5. I do think there's a clear winner here though. Starting off with Booker, he has never really put up the huge assist numbers because he's rarely the playmaker in the offense. He wasn't the best playmaker when he came into the league, and as he has improved as a player overall, he's ended up in more of a scoring role with Chris Paul as a primary facilitator. With Paul now gone though, bringing in a pure scorer in Beal, I see this being an aspect of Booker's game that will take a leap this upcoming season. Because even though Booker has never put up the assist numbers, he has put up great efficiency metrics on his playmaking. According to Basketball Index, his passing efficiency was graded in the 99th percentile, his passing versatility in the 82nd percentile, and his playmaking talent in the 99th percentile. This shows that with a jump in playmaking responsibilities, which I project he will have, he's going to have a major jump in assist numbers. Mitchell, on the other hand, isn't ever the primary playmaker either, really. He has shown proficiency at it at times, but for the most part, his assist numbers are basically the result of having the ball in his hands at all times. He tends to not make the right passes when he needs to, where Booker is much more aware of the court. I cited advanced statistics for Booker, and I will do the same here for Mitchell. He's consistently ranked in the bottom third of combo guards in assist-to-usage ratio. This season, Mitchell landed in the 16th percentile with a 0.64 assist-to-usage rate. He has the talent for it, and he has shown flashes, but he is not on the level of Booker here. Booker wins this category 10-8. Now on defense, in my opinion, another clear winner here. Devin Booker came into the league not being considered a good defender, but the strides he's made on that end have been phenomenal. Just looking at base stats, his steals on a gradual uptrend ever since his rookie year, and not just looking at stats, he shows really good metrics, especially in big games where the stakes are raised. In the first round of the 2023 playoffs, Booker defended more shot attempts than anyone in the 2023 playoffs with 96. And his opponents shot just 39.6% against him. His timing and anticipation have gotten more and more sharp as the years have gone on, and he can almost be considered a two-way player as of now. With Mitchell, he would have scored much lower if it wasn't for last season. With the Jazz, he quite frankly was a poor defender, didn't put in the effort on that end. In Cleveland, this part of his game has improved for sure. He's got active hands and he's good in the passing lanes, but he still does get caught out too often. And while his engagement has improved, it isn't all the way there still. Booker also clearly wins this category 10-8 in my opinion. Finally, on accolades. Again, not much of a contest here. Mitchell's a 4-time All-Star, Booker's a 3-time All-Star that would be a 4-time All-Star if it wasn't for an injury this past year, keeping him out of a number of games. Mitchell an All-NBA second team appearance, Booker an All-NBA first team. So while they are close on the individual accolades, what we can say is we have seen much more from Booker when it comes to playoff performance and leading a team. He was the best player on a Suns team that nearly won the finals, and that's very impressive. And while he didn't come out with a championship, it was enough to show that he could absolutely be the best player on a championship level team. Mitchell has had the opposite level of success in the postseason, never made it very far in the playoffs, has an overall playoff record of 18-26, while Booker's is 25-18. This past season, Mitchell got beaten by a Knicks team who, in my opinion, was less talented than them. Booker has shown way more postseason prowess. I will give this category to him 10-8. So in conclusion, Booker wins 58-53. In all reality, this makes sense. Mitchell, by my estimation, may be a little bit better of a pure bucket getter. It's a hard distinction to make, but I just think his athleticism and his explosiveness puts a little more stress on a defense than Booker. What we do have to take into account though is Booker's well-roundedness is what gives him the edge. He clearly has the advantage to me in playmaking and defense, and the part of their scoring game that I give to Mitchell, his edge is not as prominent as Booker's edge in categories other than scoring. It's actually quite interesting because I feel as though Booker still has the image of being just a scorer to the casual fan, but he is truly becoming a very good player at a lot of things. I do think that so far from what we've seen in his career, he does have a better legacy and has been a better performer overall than Donovan Mitchell. And with all that, we will conclude this video. Thank you to everyone for watching. It always means a lot. This was a very interesting one to do because it's a regularly debated topic and Mitchell's recent performances have made it pretty close. I do think this upcoming season will be great for Mitchell, and depending on his success, we may have to revisit this debate in years down the line. But once again, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hey, thanks again for watching this video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click on one of these videos here to see more.